For this last part, we have the application of the law of sines. It's just one of the many ways that law of sines is used in the real world. So the planet Venus can be seen from Earth with the naked eye, but the position of Venus is uncertain. So it could either be in the closer part of its orbit or the further away part in its orbit. So if we know that the distance between the Earth and the Sun is 93 million miles, and between Venus and the Sun is 67 million miles, we can determine those two distances. So we're going to assume that the angle theta down here is 18 degrees, and of course we'll have to assume that both of their orbits are fairly circular. So to set up our proportions, we know that 67 corresponds to the 18-degree angle, and we know that 93 will correspond with Venus's position, so we'll say sine V. And then we don't know we'll call it the S length over sine of S. So if we do this first set here, we'll have 93 sine of 18 equals 67 sine of V. And so we get 0.4289 when we divide both sides by 67 equals the sine of V, which is good because we need it to be less than 1. So we get 25.4 degrees is the V angle. So it could either be that, or it could be 154.6 degrees. So based on that, we could have two different angles then for the Sun angle. The Sun could either be 136.6 degrees, or it could be 7.4 degrees, depending on which scenario we use. So it could be like 7.4 in that triangle, or the whole thing there could be 154.6, and that would go with a 25.4 degree Venus angle up there. Or we would have a 136.6 degree Venus angle in this bottom triangle here. So based on either one of those two possibilities, we can continue this, and if we plug those in, we could have 67 over the sine of 18 equals S over the sine of 136.6. So 67 sine 136.6 equals S sine 18. Probably should use different variables here. So if you divide, then you will get 148.97 million miles. I'm going to guess that's the further away one. Your other option would be 67 sine of 18 over, or equals S over the sine of 7.4. So 67 sine 7.4 equals S times the sine of 18. So if you divide that out, you get 27.92 million miles. So that would be in the closest orbit. So Venus's two positions could either be 149 million miles away or like 28 million miles away.